Myself Amar. In the last tutorial, I discussed about the softwares required to compile and execute a Java program. Let me recap that topic once more. In the last topic, I told you that to compile and run a Java program, we need JDK. This JDK consists of JRE plus development tools. Development tools consist of your Java C compiler, Java interpreter, and many more. Okay. What is this JRE? JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. JDK stands for what? Java Development Kit. Now, in the last video, I also discussed that this JRE consists of what? JVM, that is Java Virtual Machine, plus class libraries. I told you that after compiling a Java program, .class file is created. Suppose demo.java is the source file. We compile this by using the Java C compiler. Then what will happen? .class file will be created, as I discussed also. Now, to execute this .class file, what we need in our machine? We need JRE. Okay. Now, inside the JRE, this JVM is responsible to execute this .class file and to produce the output. This means this will be executed by JVM of any operating system. It can be of Windows operating system, it can be of Linux operating system, and this nature makes the Java programming language platform independent. This means I can compile this program in any operating system and I can execute this program in any other operating system. What is the reason behind that? Because any JVM of any operating system can read any .class file. Okay. Now, this was the topic which I have discussed in the last tutorial. Now, in this particular tutorial, I will discuss about identifiers. Okay. Let me discuss what is the meaning of identifier. Identifier means any name. Name in Java is nothing but identifier. Now, we assign name for class, we assign name for variable, for methods, as well as labels. Whenever we are assigning any name in Java, that will be considered as the identifier. If you remember, in the very first tutorial, I told you that every program in Java must be written inside a class. Okay. Now, whenever you are creating the class, at that time you need to specify the class name. Now, this name which we are giving to the class, this will be treated as the identifier. Okay. Now, this name can be assigned for what? The name can be assigned for class. The name we can assign for variable. We can assign for method, as well as we can assign the name for label. So whenever we are assigning any name to a class or to a variable, to a method or to a label, that will be considered as the identifier. Okay. Now we need to understand which name will be considered as the valid name. This means which identifier will be treated as a valid identifier. Now, only those identifiers will be treated as valid. Only those identifiers will be treated as valid if the identifier follows these following rules. The first rule is that the identifier contains the letter between small a to small z, capital A to capital Z, 0 to 9, and in special symbols dollar and underscore. This is not hyphen, this is underscore. Huh? So A to Z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9, dollar, comma, and underscore. If your identifier contains any letter or any character except this, that will be treated as an invalid identifier. Let me give you an example. Suppose I am creating a class and the class name I am giving as demo hash. This is invalid. What is the reason? Because hash is not in the allowed character range for the identifier. That's why this will be an invalid identifier. Okay. Second rule is that your identifier name cannot start with digit. Your identifier may contain digit. but your identifier name cannot start with a digit. For example, if I am creating a class, suppose I am writing class demo 1, this is 100% valid because this identifier contains the digit 1, but your identifier name or class name is not started with 1, that's why it is valid. But if I am creating a class like class 1 demo, at that time this will be invalid. What is the reason? Because your identifier name is starting with a digit, that's why it is invalid. This is the second rule. Third rule is your identifier cannot be a reserved word. Okay, in Java certain set of words has been reserved. Those reserved words are known as the keyword. So whenever you are creating your identifier or whenever you are assigning a name, at that time that name cannot be a reserved word. Okay, for example, in Java there is a reserved word which is called as int. Okay, now if I am creating a variable int and the variable name I am giving as int, this int is what? This is nothing but the data type, and this int is what? This is nothing but the identifier name, but this identifier name is a reserved word, that's why this will be invalid. Any reserved word cannot be used as an identifier in Java. Okay, so these are the different rules to declare the identifier. Now I will draw some conclusions also. These are the rules. Now some conclusions I will draw. The first conclusion is that there is no length limit to declare the identifier. This means if we are creating a class like this, there is no length limit, it can continue. Okay, but it is not convenient to the programmer. Okay, whenever you are defining any identifier, the identifier name should be short and it should be meaningful. This will 100% work, but it is never recommended for a programmer. Okay, this is the first conclusion. Second conclusion is that in Java we can use predefined class name or identifier name as a valid identifier. Okay, there will be no problem. For example, in Java there is a predefined class which is known as math. This is a predefined class. Remember this point, very important. In Java, what I told, in Java we can use any predefined class name or interface name as a valid identifier. Example, this math is what? This is nothing but a predefined class. Okay, where it is present? It is present inside java.lang package. Okay, don't worry, I will discuss what is the meaning of package, what are these predefined classes, these things I will discuss in my upcoming videos. For the time being, you should know that math is a predefined class which is present inside the java.lang package. Okay, now suppose I am creating a class. Okay, this class is not predefined, this is the class which will be created by the programmer. Now I am creating a class and the class name I am giving is math. Okay, so this is what? This is the name which I am assigning to the class. Okay, so this name is what? This is nothing but the identifier. Now if you notice here, this name is matching with the predefined class name which is already present inside the java.lang package. This program will not generate any compilation error. This is 100% valid. This is 100% valid. Okay, this means we can use predefined class name or interface name as a valid identifier in Java. Okay, but still you should remember that this approach is not recommended. Okay, because if you are using any predefined class name and later on if you are actually using that predefined class name from the java.lang package, at that time you will get confused whether I am using this class or I am using the predefined class of the java.lang package. That's why this approach is never recommended. But for your information, you should know that there is no length limit to declare the identifier, and if you are using any predefined class name or if you are using any predefined interface name of a predefined package, it will not create any problem. Okay, this is about your identifier, rules to declare the identifier and different conclusions regarding the identifier. That's it. Now in the next video I will discuss about data type. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.